Hello, how's it going? I hope you're having a day. Today, we are talking Pokemon Stadium, released for the N64 on April 30th, 1999. Man, who remembers playing this back in the day? I was literally, guys, I was 5 years old when this game was released. That is insane to think about. I am playing it all these years later. Well, I played it rather. Didn't beat it, but we'll get more into that later. Dude, I used to love playing this game with my friends back in the day. Used to love playing my brother in this game all the time. This is just like one of the ultimate party games to play with your friends, especially back in the day, man. Like, you know, we had Mario Kart and we had like GoldenEye. I mean, I wasn't really that big into GoldenEye. I did like it though. I did play it with my friends and brothers a lot, but we always stuck to like Mario Kart and Mario Party. And then this was the go-to like duel game between me and my friends. It was such a fucking classic, man. Such a good game. We'll get all into everything. We're gonna break it all down, review it all. But what's up, guys? Jerry at Podcast here, back with another mainline episode today. I know these are pretty rare, but you know we're just trying to play through stuff slowly, not trying to rush anything. I haven't played through anything new recently. I just broke out the N64 recently, and I've been feeling nostalgic. The only bad thing about going back to these games is that godforsaken N64 controller, man. What a terrible, terrible design for a controller. I don't know. They designed this thing for people with three hands. Like, it's weird. I don't know. Anyways, Pokemon Stadium, man, such a classic, dude. I love this goddamn game. So yeah, let's just cut the intro quick. Let's cut the fucking intro. Let's just get into it, man. Let's do it. So yeah, Pokemon Stadium is definitely a party game. You know, I went through and played it solo, but there's just not much here. You know, if you're gonna play this solo, I would say just go out and buy, or go and play one of the DS Pokemon games, one of the Game Boy games, one of the Switch games, because they all offer so much more than this game has. And you can't even access a couple of the features in this game if you don't have a Game Boy, which I actually just recently learned, man. I recently learned trying to play this game again. Like, I would always use rental Pokemon back in the day, obviously, because that's how you choose your team and whatnot. I never was able to transfer anything because I never had the transfer pack or anything. And also, I didn't even know you could, man. Like, like I said, I just played this with my brother back in the day. I played this with my friends. We always would do free battle. We would do the mini games. Didn't get too much into the tournaments or whatever they are, like the cups or whatever, tournaments, cups, whatever they are. Did a little bit of the gym leader stuff back in the day, but that's what I played mostly on this playthrough. And then I played through the mini games and whatnot. But yeah, this is just, it's not a crazy good solo game. There's just a lot better options out there today. But back in the day, I mean, this was mind-blowing shit. And let's just talk about the fact that they need to make a Pokemon Stadium 3. I'm not going to talk about Pokemon Stadium 2 too much because it's basically the same thing as this, just with the second region or whatever, the second generation. But how have they not made a new Pokemon Stadium game that incorporates every generation? You know what I mean? It just seems like such a slam dunk and a money printer, right? You don't even have to add everything off the rip, right? Maybe add generations every year or so. Maybe add a couple Pokemon every couple weeks or months or whatever. It just seems like such a slam dunk, man. I don't know why they wouldn't go for something like that. Maybe they're cooking something up. Who knows? You never know with Nintendo or Game Freak. Nintendo usually just likes to shit out the bare minimum when it comes to Pokemon and then just move on with the series. I'm not too big into Pokemon these days. I was back in the day. I mean, I still have my red, I still have my yellow, still have my silver for Game Boy, which I do plan on playing when my GB operator comes in the mail, so I can upload those gameplays to YouTube. And by the way, I did record my gameplay for this. I ended up just deleting it though, because it's just not that fun to watch at the end of the day. I was watching through it, and it's just selecting buttons and watching Pokemon do moves. It's just not that interesting. So I scrapped it. I deleted it. You know what I mean? It's just not that fun to watch, especially when there's just better options in today's standards. But Yeah, probably won't ever go back and play Pokemon Stadium 2. One, because I don't want to afford the cartridge. I'm sure it's like hundreds of dollars. I haven't even checked recently, but I'm sure it's pretty expensive. And it just doesn't offer that much. And, I'd rather just play other Pokemon games with my friends if I wanted to. But yeah, man, let's just dive into Pokemon Stadium. That's what we're here for. That is what it is. Okay, so let's just do that. But yeah, let me just say, I know I mentioned a little bit about the transferring, dude. Back in the day, I literally just genuinely had no idea this was a feature. I didn't really think too much of what they meant by rental Pokemon, I guess. But yeah, you can actually, if you have the transfer pack and you have, I believe it's like red and blue or yellow, you can transfer your team to this game and use them. And it's like level dependent too, so you can't use them on certain cups if they're too leveled or too under leveled. But yeah, it's worth mentioning. I've always used rental Pokemon when it came to this game. Just never used the Game Boy feature, man. And I'm sure the transfer pack is probably very expensive these days. I've not looked into it at all just because I simply don't care. You know what I mean? It's old hardware. And I'd rather play a newer Pokemon game if I wanted to. I recently played, what's the newest one? Sword and Shield? I can't even remember I don't even keep up with them. I know Legends Arceus came out. My buddies like that game. They told me to play it, but I just don't really care for it. I played through Sword. It wasn't that great. I know Scarlet and Violet came out. I don't know. I just lost interest in this series overall, man. I really like the old ones a lot better. So let's get into the overworld, man. You load into Pokemon, the badass cutscene starts playing in the beginning, right? Like the and you see all the Pokemon lined up. It's like so epic when you're a kid. It's just so fucking nostalgic hitting that on Switch and seeing that. And, oh, I forgot. Pikachu goes Pika when you see that N64 logo. Dude, so nostalgic, man. Dude, just something about turning that shit on just fucking it gives me butterflies in my stomach, man. It just captures those moments back in the day you just won't ever get back, man. It's just something so special to me about these old consoles and old games, man. Such a beautiful thing. But yeah, let's get into the overworld. You turn the game on, you go through the cutscene, you choose, there's like battle now, and then there's like another feature, and then the options or whatever. You just go into the main overworld, and then there's like 6 different places you can choose from. There's the main stadium it takes you to, which has it basically has 4 different cups that you can play through. Poke Cup and Prime Cup are basically levels. Well, let's just start with Poke Cup. It's 4 different difficulties you can play through, and the names of them are different Pokeballs, like Pokeball, Ultra Ball, Great Ball, whatever, Master Ball. The first one is levels 50 to 55. The Prime Cup is the same exact thing with the 4 levels, except it's 1 through 100, so it's like an anything goes type of situation. I never really played these back in the day. I'm just not going to have too much to say about the single player content in this game, guys, because I really just genuinely didn't play it back in the day. I always play this game. This is just a way better party game than it is with friends. So those were those 2. And then they had the Pika Cup, which was like for lower level Pokemon, level 15 to 20. And the Petite Cup, which was cute Pokemon, which were 25 to 30. And if you chose rental like I did, it'll sort out the list for you and make it so you can only choose certain things, which is helpful, I guess. I never really played these. I'm sure, you could transfer from your Game Boy and play these, but do with that what you will, okay? So that's one part of the overworld. The next part of the overworld is the GB Tower, which I always knew it was there back in the day when I was a kid. Never really knew what it did. Kind of just glazed over it, or grazed over it. Is glazed a word for that? I feel like that doesn't work for that, but what do I know? I'm assuming the GB Tower is where you transfer Pokemon from your Game Boy to Pokemon Stadium or the N64. Didn't really know. I'm assuming that's just what it is, The Pokemon Lab is another part of the overworld. It just has more stuff to do. Like when you click on it, it says you need to plug in the transfer pack or whatever. I'm assuming you just move Pokemon from your Pokemon boxes around and shit like that. Didn't know too much about what it is. Victory Palace is like the Hall of Fame place, right? So it's like it displays Pokemon you've beaten the tournaments with. There's basically 1 through 150 listing all of the first gen Pokemon with little trophy stands, and then once you beat it, it does it'll put the Pokemon on the stand. So it's like a little collectible thing, man. You can go through and play. Obviously, try to complete it by beating a tournament with every single Pokemon in the game, which is pretty cool, man. That's actually pretty cool. I had a couple of these back in the day. I didn't replay through this today because like who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Just don't care that much about it. So that's the Victory Palace. There's the Gym Leader Castle, which was probably my favorite feature. This is what I went to today. Or not today, but this is what I played through recently. It just has all the Kanto gym leaders. I don't know if it's their exact Pokemon from like on the Pokemon games on Game Boy, but you basically just build a team and take on 3 trainers, and then you fight the gym leader. So it's pretty much like the games, except you just don't walk through the gyms, right? It's not solely like, Brock and Misty are the first 2 gyms. Not every trainer has all rock type or every trainer has all water type. They kind of have a mix of different stuff. So you kind of have to build like a team that's pretty viable and can take on everything. But dude, let me just mention the rental Pokemon suck so bad, dude. They have such weird movesets for like, I don't know if this was, I'm sure it was intended, but I don't know why you would have multiple types of shit you can use for multiple Pokemon. So I guess it was pretty versatile, but it just felt a little lacking. I know this was first gen and all, so I know this was like brand new, right? I'm gonna actually look up when Pokemon Red and Blue came out. Give me a second. Okay, so Red and Blue came out September 28th, 1998, like almost a year before Pokemon Stadium. So I guess there wouldn't be that many innovations in like movesets yet, which makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. So that, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Just the moves are just weird in this game, man. I don't know how to explain it. They're just weird. Like you would think Pokemon wouldn't have certain moves, but they do, and it's just, I don't know, it's really odd. But back onto the Gym Leader Castle. I beat the first 7 gyms with rental Pokemon. I could not beat Giovanni to save I spent so long on Blaine, and I finally beat his ass, and then I could not beat Giovanni for the life of me. I tried like probably 15 times before I eventually just gave up and moved on. I just don't care about it this much. I don't need the satisfaction from beating this fucking game. I really could care less, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's nostalgic as fuck, man. And I know a lot of people out there probably think the same thing, man. It's just fucking great. And then let's move on to the Kids Club, man. Dude, the mini games were some of the most fun I think you could ever have in gaming. This was like Mario Party it was kind of like Mario Party, kind of like Fusion Frenzy. These are just various mini games where I think there's 9 total you can play. On go through them all. But yeah, dude, this was like the bread and butter because you could swap between actually battling your friends to just running around and fucking around on mini games. And there was actually like a tournament bracket mode you can play to gain the most points. It was actually really fucking cool, man. Really enjoyed this back in the day. I played them all again, single player against a computer, but it's really just not that fun. Party games are meant to be played with people around you. You know what I mean? So let's go through them, man. I love these games. I love most of them. I'll tell you which ones I like and don't like. So we start off top left. They're all in like a square formation. Top left game is Magikarp Splash. Basically, you play as Magikarp, and you press A to jump and hit this little clicker thing that gives you a number. There's a certain timing you gotta get to get the most jumps, and whoever has the most clicks at the end wins the game. Pretty straightforward. And then you have Clefairy Says, which is kind of like Simon Says. There's a Clefairy. You're all in a classroom with 4 separate Clefairies. The teacher Clefairy kind of puts out notes you have to hit on your... It's like on your D-pad, left, right, up, and down, and you have to follow the thing. You have to follow the method there. Not method. What the fuck? Dude, I can't come up with the words to say on a spot like this. Don't put me on a fucking spot. You have to come up with the right combo. I'll say combo, even though it makes it sound like a Tony Hawk game, but Yeah, you got to come up with the right combo. If you don't, you lose a little bit of your health bar. And then whoever lasts the longest basically wins at the end, or whoever has the most health at the end wins. Pretty easy. Then there's Run, Rattata, Run, which you basically play as Rattata on a treadmill. There's obstacles that come up. There's hurdles that come up you have to jump over. Whoever gets to their end first wins. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I like those first three. And then we kind of get into this one that I really don't like. It's Snore War. Snore War is the drowsy game type where there's like this metronome that kind of swings between the 4 players. Everyone is drowsy, obviously. You have to hit A at the perfect time when this thing is like dead center, straight down in the middle. And then how do I explain this? How the fuck do I explain this? Basically, if you hit A at the right time, you won't go to sleep as fast as you would as if you miss it. And basically, the object of the game is to be the last one awake. So you have to outlast your opponents and basically make sure you're awake at the end of the game by having great timing by hitting A. It's really weird. I never really got this game. I felt like it was a real pain in the ass to win back in the day. It's just one of the ones I really just didn't care for. Moving on to Thundering Dynamo. This game was pretty cool. You would play as electric Pokemon. I think you'd play as, Voltorb, Pikachu, and a couple others I'm probably missing. Or no, I think it was maybe just Voltorb and Pikachu. But you basically press A and B, depending on what you see on the screen, to charge this electric bar, and then the first one to charge it is the first one to win. Pretty straightforward. Sushi Go Round. I actually really like this one. Sushi Go Round was the one where you play as Lickitung and there's all the dishes around. Basically, you play as Lickitung and you have to eat as many foods coming off of this little conveyor belt as possible to run up the bill as high as it can go. You can eat certain foods that will slow you down, certain foods that'll make you sick. But the object was to just get the most food at the end, and whoever got the most at the end won, which was pretty fucking fun, man. I always thought it was funny. The way Lickitung fucking runs around when he eats something he doesn't like is so funny, dude. I don't know what it is, but that animation they did for that was like top tier, man. Go look it up if you haven't seen it. It's pretty fucking funny. After that was Ekans Hoop Hurl, which was pretty fun. I like this one. It was like your typical ring toss game at like a carnival or a fair type game. You pull back on the joystick farther depending on how far you want Ekans to throw, and then Diglets would pop up. You have to basically throw the Ekans around the Diglett, and you got a point for doing it. Sometimes a golden Diglett would appear, and he would be worth 3 points. Most points at the end wins. Basically pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Rock Harden. This was one of my favorite ones, man. You play as Kakuna and Metapod. There's these I can't talk. I'm a retard. You've got to basically, you press A to harden. There's like these incoming rocks. You use A to harden. You have a harden meter, so you can't just hold on to it forever. You have to time the harden with when the rock hits you. If you let the rock hit you, you basically lose a bunch of your health. So you want to not get hit, and you want to conserve your resource of harden as much as you can. And then the last one with the most wins. Pretty easy. I always like this one. So last player standing wins, man. It's not timed or anything. You basically just go to the end, man. It's like the OG Battle Royale, dude, which was pretty cool. And then the last one was Dig, Dig, Dig with Sandshrew. All you had to do on this one was press L and R, not at the same time, but one after the other, very fast, very fast. Sandshrew would dig a hole. This one was all just how fast you can go without pressing him at the same time. And then once he reaches like a little water spout, it shoots him up into the air, and then whoever does it the fastest wins. And that's it, man. That's all the mini games. Doesn't seem like a lot. Seems like we kind of blew through them, but that's really all there is, man. I can't really, should I rank them in a list? No, who fucking cares, dude? I don't care about ranking these. But that's it, man. These mini games really just broke up the monotony of like your typical Pokemon. You know what I mean? You're tired of fighting each other through trainer battles. You could just fuck around and get on mini games, or you could do mini game tourneys with your buddies. This is probably like a very fun like drinking game nowadays. Like if you were to play this, I want to review the Pokemon Stadium 2 mini games too. I don't think I'll ever play it though, so maybe it's lost to the void. I'll never say never. Maybe it could happen one day. I just don't see myself doing it. You could look them up if you want to, but that's pretty fun. So that was the kids corner. That's all the mini games in the kids club, and then the last piece of the overworld is free battle, and this is where I spent a majority of my time playing this game. Free battle is where you can take on your friends' battles. You take on your buddies. You build a team to whoop their ass, and that's what you do, man. You could play 2v2s on this. I've actually never done that. We always whenever we had multiple buddies in the same room, we never really did 2v2s, man. We would always go for the 1v1, and then whoever won would stay, and then a new challenger would come and try to take on the winner, you know what I mean? That's how we played. But you can play however you want, and then you could choose different rule sets for the free battle too. Like you could choose the Q cup if you wanted, like the Petite cup or whatever you wanted. But we always used to just go with anything goes, level 100 Pokemon, Alpha Chad. And then, dude, we would always make each other not look. This was the funnest part. When we would choose our team, we would make the other guy leave the room or hide his eyes or go under a blanket or something because we were kids. And it was just fun trying to build a solid team, trying to anticipate what your buddy would pick. We would always have a no legendary and no starter rule. Or no. We used to do one starter, no legendaries, because obviously the legendaries, like the 3 birds, were overpowered as fuck. And the starters are too, man. They're just so good. But yeah, man, free battles, dude. Like, fuck, dude. I wish I could just like unlock my memory core and just go back and watch that shit through my eyes again. Dude, it was just so much fun. It was just so much fun. It was just such a different time, dude. Such a different time. No responsibility. Just playing Pokemon Stadium against your buddies. Fucking slamming sodies, having snacks, dude. Like, dude, there's just no better fucking time in your life than this shit. Like, I feel, dude, like, think about people like George Washington, and like Thomas Jefferson. Like, they never got to experience couch co-op N64. Like, and that's just such a tragedy, man. Like, the founding fathers of the United States of America never got to experience Pokemon Stadium couch co-op, and I feel for that, dude. I feel for them, It's just tragic. If their spirit lives on, and if they're listening to me recording this, like, bros, you got to somehow, like, go into a human body and try to play this. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but goddamn, this was fun, dude. This was fun. There was some strategy to it. Sometimes Pokemon were just overpowered as fuck, though. So you could really cheese it if you wanted to. I have a story I'll tell really quick. This was Pokemon Stadium 2. But back in the day, I vividly remember fighting. I think 2 of my buddies were fighting. One of my buddies picked an entire team of legendaries, and then I think my other buddy picked an entire team of starters or something like that. And he chose Chikorita. Dude, I'm not even joking. I don't know how the fuck this happened, but his Chikorita literally soloed the entire enemy team, all legendaries. It soloed every legendary in the game. So obviously this game was just not very balanced when it came to rental Pokemon. It was just like so overpowered. I don't know how this Chikorita just did not die throughout the whole set of legendary Pokemon. Took on literally 6 fucking legendary Pokemon. I don't even know how that happens. Oh, something I forgot to mention too is with the gym leader battle, and maybe in Stadium, I forgot. But you can only you choose a team of 6 Pokemon, right? But you can only bring 3 into the fight. So you really have to be strategic with your choices of what you bring. Make sure you have a versatile team. And also the way you choose your Pokemon is you basically load into this menu. You see all of his Pokemon, but you can't see the 3 he picks. You basically just have to, send out something that's pretty versatile to start with, because you don't want to just get fucked over on the first, or else you're going to have a hard time coming back if your first one dies quick. But that's that, man. Back to free battle. I mean, I guess I don't really have much to say about free battle, right? This was just the game mode where you play with your friends, man. So that was it. That's all this game had to offer, man. And I don't think this episode's going to be that long, and it probably shouldn't be, but I just wanted to I'm crossing N64 games off my list here. I have them all out, and I have a case for them. I'm basically cleaning them. I'm cleaning them as I play them, and then I'm putting them away in this case when I'm done with them. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just like checking off a list of all these games that I'm playing. And it's cool to see. So Pokemon Stadium's next. I know I never beat it. You can roast me in the comments if you want to. It's just impossible to rental Pokemon, to be honest with you. And I'm not even joking, man. Like, I even tried looking up teams online and shit, and it just got way too crazy. Like, it's just too hard, man, with the rental Pokemon. It's just, or maybe I'm just shit, and maybe I just don't know how to play Pokemon. This version of it, anyway. I guess I'm just used to Pokemon being so goddamn easy, like it is on Game Boy. You know what I mean? And in the DS versions, like Pokemon is just so fucking easy normally. So it was actually quite a surprise to come back and have this be pretty hard, because I thought I was gonna breeze through it, honestly. But it gave me a run for my money. So, what else can I talk about? Is there shiny Pokemon in this game? Guys, I feel like there's shiny Pokemon. Sometimes they look shiny, and then other times I feel like the color rendering is just fucked. I think that's what it is, because like sometimes Electabuzz was green, and I just don't know like what's going on. Maybe there's shinies, maybe there's not. I think it's just the rendering. Were shinies even a thing at this point in the game? I can't even remember. Let me know in the comments below if they were. But yeah, it was just cool to see. If there's shinies, then cool, man. If there's not, then also cool, I guess. That's really it, man. What I will say is that the average experience playing in like the gym leader and the stadium fight is kind of annoying, because your character actually misses like very, very often. And if your opponent has a move like leader or string shot or something, like they'll just abuse that move over and over again, dude. Like they do the classic thing they do in the old Pokemon games where if like they send out a Metapod, it'll just perma use Harden until you have to fucking sit there and use like 30 moves in a row to finally fucking kill this thing off. And it's so frustrating, man. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm aggressive or something, but it's just so stupid, man. I'm getting perma hardened on, perma string shotted on, so I can't hit any fucking attacks if they have like a Weedle that's perma string shotting me, because my accuracy is just getting fucked. It's so annoying, bro. Also, the AI can be very stupid in the sense where it'll use like Sand Attack when I'm on 1 HP. And it's like, okay, why are you trying to lower my accuracy instead of just finishing me off? You know what I mean? But that's really it, man. That's all I got to say about the overworld in Pokemon Stadium. So I guess the last thing I should talk about is my personal favorite Pokemon to use on this game. So yeah, let me go look at. I need to honestly look at the list of Pokemon in Kanto. I can't even remember off the top of my head what I use. A couple I'll rattle off is Blastoise, Jolteon. Stuff like that. I used to use like Gengar. Golem was a big one I loved back in the day. Let me pull up a list actually really quick, and I'll tell you guys what I used. Okay, so I was actually just reading up on the wiki a little bit, dude, and apparently you could face Mewtwo in this game. You can rent every Pokemon in the game except for Mew and Mewtwo, but apparently if you completed Stadium and Gym Leader Castle, like Mewtwo's silhouette would appear in the sky above the stadium for selection, and you can actually like battle Mewtwo itself, which was very cool. I guess defeating him would launch the credits. I never beat this game, like I said, back in the day or even today. I just didn't care to go through and do it all, because why the fuck would I? It apparently unlocks round 2. What is round 2? Round 2 is apparently you could just go through it again, I guess. I mean, I don't really know, I guess. So I'm just going to scroll through the first generation of the Pokédex and let you guys know what I used in Stadium, because I'll definitely be able to tell you. Starting off with Bulbasaur here. Didn't use any of these guys. Didn't use those guys. I'm not going to say it like this, actually. I'm just going to keep scrolling and then talk about it. Blastoise. Big one. Dude, I just love Blastoise. He was my go-to starter. First ever starter I chose was Squirtle. Man, I'll never forget it. So legendary. I just love the fucking turtle that's like a squirrel. And then, like, what's not to love about Blastoise, man? It's a goddamn turtle with cannons coming out of its back. I won't spend too long on the Pokemon themselves anyway. Beedrill was another one I chose back in the day, just because I love the way it looks. And that's basically how all of us chose Pokemon, right? Like, we all chose them by how cool they looked, right? Or at least that's what me and my friends did. So yeah, Beedrill was a good one. Arbok was cool. The fucking snake with the face on its chest. That was so sick back in the day. I like Sandslash a lot. I would choose Nidoking a lot. Nidoking is pretty cool. Zubat. Fucking Zubat. Let's see. Still scrolling. Meowth was cool. Never really chosen though. I chose Primeape a couple times. Arcanine was a big one, dude. Arcanine is a badass fire dog. I always loved that thing. Poliwrath I would choose a couple times. Kadabra I chose in this. I never really chose Alakazam or Kadabra back in the day, but I definitely chose Kadabra because he was kind of OP in this game. In my opinion, he just had a lot of utility to, use paralysis and whatnot on the Pokemons. Machamp was really cool back in the day. I loved using him. Tentacruel, I didn't really use Tentacruel that much, but Tentacruel is my brother's favorite Pokemon. He would always use him. Golem, like I said, I loved Golem. Golem was a very cool Pokemon. Rapidash was sick. I always loved the Fire Horse. Rapidash was one of my favorites. Magneton, I always loved Magnemite and Magneton. They were really cool. Always loved them. Muck was pretty cool. Muck is just like, the sludge guy. I always loved Muck. I loved Cloyster back in the day, the one that looks like a clit. Cloyster does look like a clit, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they designed it like that, but I used to love... Dude, the thing about Cloyster is I loved this guy back in the day because they had such a unique design, but every time I see this Pokemon today, he just looks like a clitoris, dude. I don't know. I literally don't know what dude. I just can't. I can't take it seriously. But I loved Cloyster back in the day. Gengar, man. Everybody loves Gengar. It's like one of the only ghost types in the first game. Very, very cool. I loved Onix, the giant rock snake. Onix was sick. Kingler is another one of my brother's favorite Pokemon. I never liked him back in the day. Electrode was the one I used in this time I played. I used to love Cubone and Marowak. Dude, here we go. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Which one do you guys think I used? I'll give you 5 seconds of which one I would like to choose between these guys. I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, Hitmonchan. I always used to go for Hitmonchan. I don't know what it was, man. I just love the way his head looks. He's got like the 5 things on his head. It's like broken up. I love the fact that he has boxing gloves on. My brother was a Hitmonlee guy. I just don't really see the appeal of this guy. It just looks like a giant bean with like leg extensions. I don't know what he even is supposed to be. Confident Weezing were pretty cool. Didn't really use them too much. I loved Rhydon. Rhydon was pretty cool. Kangaskhan is cool. Kangaskhan's like a kangaroo, but it's like not. It's like a dinosaur kangaroo looking thing. It's cute how it has like the little mini one in its pouch. So that was cool. Didn't really use too many of these. Scyther was one I used back in the games back in the day. Didn't really use it for this playthrough. This is one I used. I used Nicki Minaj in this playthrough, also known as Jinx. I don't know, dude. Jinx is such a fucking weirdly looking. It's just such a weird Pokemon, man. It's so like human looking, but at the same time, it's not. It's just such a weird fucking Pokemon, man. But I used this one because it was actually low-key kind of good for a Psychic type until I found Alakazam and Kadabra. But I used to use Jinx back in the day. Who else? Gyarados, we all know is a classic. I loved Gyarados, loved Lapras. Jolteon. I always used to get Flareon in the Game Boy games, but Jolteon, we all know, is way faster. It's like the fastest Pokemon in the game, I'm pretty sure. Don't know too much about Pokemon, but I used Jolteon a lot in this playthrough as my electric type. Very good. Oh, fossil types, guys. I remember fossil types, man. I always choose the one that gave you Kabuto and Kabutops just because I loved Kabutops. Kabutops just looks so cool, man. It has like fucking blades for hands. I always loved that guy, and I always just liked how Kabuto looks like is basically just a horseshoe crab. Pretty cool. Aerodactyl is like the ancient bird thing, ancient like dragon thing. I love Snorlax. Ooh, the 3 legendary birds. I used to love Articuno. Me and my brother, this is one we actually agreed on. We always thought Articuno was the best. Articuno's just badass, man. Ice type is so cool. Ice and I'm the same way in like Mortal Kombat too. I always liked Sub-Zero over Scorpion. Ice types is just cooler than fire in my opinion. I just like ice as an ability. It's just way cooler. Dragonite, very OP. And that was it, man. Never used Mew and Mewtwo. Could you even get Mew and Mewtwo in this game? I couldn't even tell you, honestly. Probably not Mew. I couldn't even get Mew back in the Game Boy games. Like, there was a glitch I recently did on like a playthrough a couple years ago. I did on my Pokemon Red where you can like glitch the game and then get Mew. But that was it. I don't know if you could actually get Mew. I think you had to get it from like an event back in the day, and then everybody knows you obviously get Mewtwo after you beat the Elite Four and go to the Cerulean City cave and play through that. But that's it, man. That's all the Pokemon. And you just heard which ones are my favorite that I would like to use. And it would basically, I would try to build a versatile team, but at the end of the day, I just liked using what I liked using, man. And that's really that, man. I guess I really don't have much to say about Pokemon Stadium anymore. I really just love coming back to these old titles that I played back in the day, man. You know what I mean? They're so nostalgic. Going over these memories just unlocks something in me that it really just puts me at ease, man. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just so soothing, so calming to just remember the innocent days, you know, back when the world wasn't so fucked up, or maybe it still was, but we were blinded to it as kids. We were pretty shielded from it, just lost in these games, and it was just such a beautiful thing back in the day, man. Gaming today, sorry to say this, but gaming today is just never going to feel like it was back in the day, man. It just felt so special. And I'm sure kids today feel that it's special back in the day, but I don't know. I have nieces and nephews that, like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's just so much access to games nowadays with like Game Pass and like the Nintendo Online and stuff that you can just basically have a game at any moment in your hands. But I'm going to really date myself here by saying this, but man, something about physical copies, and you only got like one new game like every couple months or so, you know, or maybe like once every half a year, man. And you really had to just enjoy it for as long as you can. Now there's just so much at our fingertips that we can play and download within like minutes, right? It just doesn't feel the same. I know that's partially because I'm grown now and I'm not a kid anymore, but god damn, gaming back in the day was just so awesome, man. Such a stress reliever. I really just could not wait to get home from school every day and play video games with my brother and my friends, man. Like, granted, there was no online back in the day, but we would always trade on like the Game Boy and shit, you know? It's just fucking, man, it's just never going to get back to that either. And granted, I know it's way better now. It's definitely way better now than it was, but man, it's just so peak back in the day, you know? So peak back in the day, you know. I was always the kid that wanted to stay inside most of the time, unless I would always like going on bike rides and shit with my friends in the neighborhood and whatnot. But we always would fucking bring the Pokemon, bring the Game Boys out, trade shit, battle each other. Oh man, it was just so. Sorry, dude. I don't know, man. Sorry, guys. This probably is not fun to listen to. But I'm feeling this shit got me feeling some type of way, you know. It's just, man, we're never gonna get back to this. And just something about having one game at a time to beat, and you really just got to sink your time into it and just really unlock all that it has to offer. And it was just such a fun thing back in the day, man. That's all I'm going to say, man. Maybe I'll move on to the outro right now. I don't think I can really rate this game. Maybe I'll try to. You really just can't rate a game like this, you know what I mean? Because obviously in today's standards with all that we have now, you know, in the Pokemon games that have like literally every Pokemon in them, literally like thousands of Pokemon now they have. It's fucking crazy. You just cannot date a game like this, you know what I mean? Or rate one, because there's one gen and it had a lot of bare bones features, you know? There's just like, there's not much to this game in today's standards, but back in the day, this was a lot to play, man. There was a lot of stuff to do, or at least it felt like, you know. Still not as much as the Game Boy games, you know, because something about walking around and actually leveling your own stuff it offers more depth, obviously. But as far as Pokemon Stadium goes, man, I just don't think I'm going to rate this one, man. It's just, I'm blinded by nostalgia here. If I were to rate it, I would probably give it like a 4 out of 10. You know, it just doesn't really do it. But this is not a game you play solo, right? This is a game you play with your friends on the couch, man. This is a game you play when you get shit-faced at a party. You bring the N64 over, fucking battle each other in some Pokemon, and it's a good time, right? Playing the computer in this game just does not hit the same at all. It's like playing the computers in Mario Kart, you know? It just doesn't hit the same, man. You gotta play this game co-op. You have to play this game against your friends. Like, you just have to, you know? So that's really it. Holy fuck, I've been talking for like 40 minutes now, dude. Let me take a quick break, take a piss, and I will come back and do the outro, okay? Don't go anywhere, fellas. Don't go anywhere. Okay, guys, so dude, I was actually just making the thumbnail for this video. You know, my great thumbnails that I've tried really hard with by making on Microsoft Paint still. I don't know how to make good thumbnails yet. Don't judge me. But apparently on the cover of this game, it says N64 transfer pack included, which means I never had this as a kid. So that must mean I never bought this game. We never got this game like brand new out of the package. You know what I mean? But dude, I just went back and looked at my cartridge. I still have my original cartridge from back in the day. It says property of Blockbuster on it, guys. So dude, I unironically like stole this game from Blockbuster back in the day, and I didn't even realize it. Like, I don't even know how that happened or how we never got a return fee or anything on that, dude. But that's the reason I don't have the transfer pack, guys. I originally rented this game from Blockbuster, which is a new piece of Jerry lore that I just discovered. That's fucking insane, dude. I have the Blockbuster copy of Pokemon Stadium. I'm a fucking criminal. I'm a felon, dude. Holy shit. I'm a lawbreaker, dude. I broke the law when I was a kid. God damn. That's insane. That's just insane to me. Like, I have a Blockbuster game, dude. So yeah, apparently if you bought this game brand new, it did include the transfer pack, which is nice. How much did this shit cost back in the day, actually? Let me look it up really quick. So apparently this game costed $70 back in the day, which is kind of crazy to think about. I know the money and like the way inflation works and everything isn't equal to that. But apparently, according to this thread, $70 back then was like $116 today. So wait a second. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay. So today's $70 was basically like $42 back in '96. So it was around the same price. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about. That people complain about the price of games today, but it really wasn't that much different back then. I mean, granted, it was like $30 more, but still, that's just crazy to think about. But yeah, man, I stole this game from Blockbuster when I was a kid. That's just fucking insane to think about, dude. But yeah, guys, that's Pokemon Stadium. That's all I'm really going to say. That's all I really have to say. This game is just a nostalgic masterpiece. Was really fun back in the day. Not too fun to come back to. And that's really it, man. So if all you wanted to hear was Pokemon Stadium talk, that's all I'm going to say about the game. We'll just talk. I'm going to talk for a couple minutes about what's next and what's next for the channel and what I'm going to play. So what I'm playing right now, I'm still playing Overwatch. Still love the game. Still enjoying Season 10. I love the game so much. Won't ever give up on it anytime soon. Still playing Halo Infinite. I'm almost done with the battle passes. I got like a couple more operations to play through and then I'm done. That's getting an update soon, so it should be interesting. Kind of losing interest in it though, I can't lie. It just feels like there's no reason to grind it. I've been enjoying Ranked Tactical Slayer. I just hit Diamond 2 last night. It's probably trash for most people, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Fucking feel like I'm doing pretty well. And that's it, man. As far as what I'm going to play next, N64 wise, I'm going to boot up Chameleon Twist, I think, dude. I love Chameleon Twist. If you don't know what it is, it's like a how do I fucking describe Chameleon Twist, actually? I have no idea. Look it up if you want to, but Chameleon Twist is up next. I played through Tetrasphere. I not played through it, but I played a little bit of Tetrasphere. I wasn't that into it, so I probably won't talk about it that much. And then I got a bunch more N64 games to play. I bought Xenoblade Chronicles for my Wii U, but I probably won't touch that for a while. Just kind of want to coast through the N64 games. Depending on if I get my GB operator in the mail soon, I could play through some stuff on Game Boy, like old Game Boy games like Pokemon Yellow and stuff like that, maybe Pokemon Silver. Depending on when that comes in. I think it's like an international shipping, so it probably won't get here for a while. We'll see though. But that's really it, man. Just playing multiplayer games, really. Just playing Overwatch, just playing Halo. That's really it. I did watch, dude. I just finished all of the Fallout TV series. Holy shit. As a big Fallout fan, they nailed that show, dude. It is so good. I urge you, if you're on the fence about going to watch it, if you're even going to hear this again, this is for older Jerry to hear way in the future. But yeah, man, if for some reason you're hearing this and you're interested in watching a Fallout show, just do it, man. It knocks out of the park, dude. Such a good show. Can't wait for season 2 in a couple of years or whenever the hell that comes out. So yeah, I re-downloaded Fallout 4. Might give it a try. Not give it a try, but give another playthrough. Me and my buddy gave up on Fallout 76. That game is it's just not it for me, man. I just don't find it that fun. Just doesn't really hold my interest. I think Fallout is better as a single player game. Still playing the occasional Mechabellum. Game's pretty fun. Can't complain about that. And what else am I playing? That's really gonna do it, I think. I'm really just not playing that much, guys. Just enjoying the Overwatch, just enjoying the Halo every now and then, and that's basically it. We're gonna play through Chameleon Twist, like I said, next, and that was one of my favorites from my childhood, man. I love that game so much. Oh, Zombies. I'll tell you where I'm at with Zombies. We're all caught up. I just got to talk about Die Rise, and then we're all caught up. I have not played Mob of the Dead yet, and Mob of the Dead is next. We're going to talk about Die Rise next week. Probably next week. I put out 4 Zombies videos in a row before this. I want to chill on Zombies. I want to make Zombies like a bi-weekly thing, like every other weekend I release a Zombies episode. So that'll do that. We'll talk about Die Rise next weekend. It's currently April 26th at 9:40 p.m. as I talk about this. It's Friday night. I had some time, wasn't doing much, so I figured I'd just rip the Pokemon Stadium episode really quick. I'll probably edit and upload it tomorrow. Not that I edit much in these videos because, it's pretty shitty. But that's what it is, man. That's all it is. We'll probably upload it tomorrow during the day just because I don't feel like doing all that right now and, extorting the video and all that shit. So yeah, expect the Pokemon episode. Well, I guess this will be uploaded by the time you hear this, so I guess expect it right now as you're listening to it. You're so fucking stupid, Jerry. God damn it. But anyways, as far as that, expect I'm going to talk about Overwatch Season 10 tomorrow, probably as well. We'll do Overwatch Season 10. We'll talk about Mirror Watch. We'll talk about the new update, so that'll be cool. We'll throw in a little Overwatch Season 10 thoughts update video, and that's that, man. We're going to sign off here. Didn't want to go too long. I honestly thought this video was going to be like maybe 25, 30 minutes. Didn't. But hey, man, I enjoyed talking about it. So yeah, if you're hearing this, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Tell somebody about this podcast if you want. If you don't want, that's cool too. Thanks for listening, man. Be nice to somebody, okay? Jerry is signing off. Okay, take care, guys. Goodbye.